Corey Lewandowski, now a partner at the newly formed consulting firm Avenue Strategies. First of all, Corey, good to have you with us. And I have to believe, even as long as you've worked with and for President Trump, you've got to be impressed by the pace that he set over the first week.
Well, thank you for having me, Lou. And clearly, this is the Donald Trump that I have known and had the privilege of working next to for a long time. An individual who's up before, 6 o'clock every day and works till midnight every night, doesn't rely on sleep, and as a person who wants to get things done. And what we've seen in this first week is he is fulfilling his campaign promises through executive orders and executive action. And he's pledged today to rebuild the military, as you know, through an executive memorandum. And these are the things that he's talked about. And what's amazing to me is most of the mainstream media still doesn't understand that this is a person who's keeping his promises to the American people. They probably thought he was going to be a typical politician and say one thing on the stump and then do something different when he got in office. And he's done exactly the opposite. He's doing exactly what he said he was going to do over a 2-year campaign.
You know, I think there is also considerable truth to those who believe and who say that the national left-wing media has become something of an activist opposition party unto themselves when it comes to President Trump. I would hope and I expect, frankly, that in time that'll change. A few weeks of accomplishment like this and a new momentum is set that's going to be hard for even the left-wing media to avoid noticing.
Well, Lou, unfortunately, if Vice President Pence didn't speak at that rally today, it would have gotten a fraction of the coverage that the rally of the women who came to Washington last week, received. All they did was talk about it every day for 3 days and talked about how big these rallies were. If Vice President Pence wasn't there today, we wouldn't have seen any of the coverage from the mainstream media. And, it's very unfortunate. They're clearly a bias in the mainstream media. Steve Bannon talked about this. The president's chief advisor talked about this yesterday in a conversation with New York Times. And, what all of a sudden the media was in an uproar. The other thing that the media was in uproar about was Donald Trump accepted the resignation of 4 people at the State Department who they touted to have a combined experience of 160 years of government service between them. That is everything that's wrong in Washington, Lou. Who wants 4 people with 160 years of experience? Maybe we need new people there. That's what Trump has brought to Washington, new people.
There's no doubt about President Trump's view of whether they should be there or not. They are no longer there, as you note. But I have to say, Steve Bannon telling the New York Times that the national left-wing media ought to just shut up. I mean, that sent shockwaves through the national left-wing media, with many columnists huffing and puffing and saying, basically, we're not going to shut up like the children they behave as. It's a remarkable time to see the media exposed for what it is, and a president who is breaking every orthodox view of what a president is to do, how he is to do it. It's a remarkable 7 days in office. I mean, you have to stop and think, my God, it has only been 7 days. He's had a...
Lou,
yeah, go ahead.
And it's really been amazing. It really hasn't even been 7 days. Don't forget, the swearing in was a week ago tonight. So he really didn't work last Friday. Saturday and Sunday, his family was with him the entire time. He really got to work on Monday morning, and that's the amazing part. The problem with the mainstream media has been, the left-wing media, is they want to make the news. They don't want to report the news. That's the difference now. It wasn't that long ago where the American people got their news from 3 news broadcasters who showed up on TV at 6 o'clock at night. Those days are
you're
gone.
Too young
now they're
to
going
remember those days.
Hey, look,
come
I remember.
Corey,
I'm not that young.
On.
I got a lot of gray hair, and I had a lot more hair before. Let me tell you, Lou. I'm telling you right now, this campaign was killer on me. But let me say this.
Go ahead. I want to share with our audience an exchange with the president that I think everybody will find interesting.
Please.
Go ahead.
What do you say to our viewers at home who are worried about some of your views and worried about you becoming the leader of the free world?
This was your choice of a question. There goes that relationship.
After the biting and some would say somewhat rude question from the British press, Corey, there's the president relaxed, in command, with showing a great sense of humor. This is a man who settled into the job, I think it is fair to say, relatively quickly. What do you expect from here?
You know what I expect is more of the Donald Trump that we've seen over the last week, which is fulfilling those campaign promises, making sure that Congress is moving his agenda forward, making sure that, look, we're going to build a wall in Mexico, on the Mexican border. He's been very clear about that. The reason is we've got drugs pouring across the border. Look, my home state of New Hampshire has one of the worst opiate epidemics and problems in the entire country. You can buy drugs in this poor state for $3 a hit. It's unbelievable.
Right.
We need to build a wall so that American people stop using drugs that are flowing in
Still
from
on the
Mexico.
campaign trail, Corey. That's been litigated. That has been decided. He's building the wall, and he's going after those drug dealers big league. Corey, great
That's
to have
exactly
you
right.
with us. Good to have you with us.
Thank you.
Corey Lewandowski. We're coming right back. Much more straight ahead. Stay with us. President Trump says he's had enough of the one-sided relationship with Mexico.
We are going to renegotiate our trade deals, and we're going to renegotiate other aspects of our relationship with Mexico. And in the end, I think it'll be good for both countries.
We take up the president's strong leadership with the Five's Kimberly Guilfoyle and Republican strategist Tony Sayegh. They join us here next. And a shocking new study reveals more than 800,000 illegals voted for Hillary Clinton. This comes as our president calls for a comprehensive voter fraud investigation. We take up the stunning developments here next. Stay with us. We're coming right back. The Washington Post today obtained secret tapes that show Republican lawmakers airing their concerns about the quick repeal of Obamacare. And according to the recording of a closed-door meeting in Philadelphia where a bunch of Republicans had gathered, Republicans are worried they'll be judged on the matter in the election that is now 2 years away. Fox News senior producer for Capitol Hill telling us he's heard several theories about who recorded and released that tape of the Republican concerns being expressed at the Republican retreat. Don't you love the term retreat? I mean, what a lousy, lousy term. But among those people being speculated as the source of these secret tapes, one of the members who sat close to the sound system and recorded it, a hotel staffer, perhaps a senior Republican such as Speaker Ryan or Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who wanted this to come out to force the issue. Not one person has suggested that President Trump had anything to do with it. President Trump today signing 2 executive actions, one to begin rebuilding our military, the second implementing extreme vetting to root out radical Islamist terrorists.
I'm establishing new vetting measures to keep radical Islamic terrorists